I'm Ashton Addison from Block West Capital for Investment Pitch Media, and today on the Crypto Cowen Show we have Susie Batt, the crypto ecosystem's lead for Opera browser. Susie, welcome to the show, and thank you for taking the time today.
Thank you, Ashton, and thanks for covering this crazy industry.
You're very welcome. It's so exciting. I can't not cover it because there's just so much to talk about. And I've been a long-term user of the Opera browser, and I'm so excited to see that they're being innovative, integrating Web3 functionality, crypto wallets, integrations, the like. I'm excited to dive into what your team's been working on, your team's efforts at Devcon and getting involved in the Web3 space, and what's to come, because I know that there's more up the sleeves of your team. So let's just break right into it with a little bit of a high level of like Opera on the crypto side.
Well, so for many listeners who maybe are US based, might not be so familiar with Opera, but it's a Norwegian based browser company in Oslo, and it's been around since 1995. It actually was the first native browser in a mobile phone, that being Nokia and Ericsson, understandably. And it, part of its charm is that it's this kind of understated, strong, reliable, secure brand for over 25 years. Extremely popular in Europe, Africa, and Asia. Mm-hmm. And just setting its sights now, in recent years, like the past 5 years, in the US. So thanks for being a user, an early user. And I should also add that there are 4 different products across Opera. So the red O you see on the screen, that's the flagship browser. We also have the Opera GX browser, which is incredibly popular among gamers. There's also the Opera Mini browser that's really high throughput for for mobile networks in Africa that don't have such great, secure, reliable infrastructure. And then this year, we launched the Opera Crypto browser, which is like all the whistles and bells and whistles for crypto enthusiasts.
Amazing, and that's great to hear. And yeah, I feel privileged to have been using it for almost 10 years ago. Before the U.S. sort of found out about how awesome it is. And I didn't know that there was a gaming browser as well. That's super cool. But now, of course, crypto near and dear to my heart, seeing crypto wallets, integrations, I want to take advantage of those kind of functionalities. So in terms of the Opera crypto browser, when did you guys first start working on that, and sort of what are the flagship functionalities of the crypto browser?
So back in 2018, a very forward-thinking colleague first launched the native crypto wallet, and it was the first of its kind. It was 2017, 2018, and in support and parallel collaboration with Consensus at the time, launched this notion of like a Web3 wallet. And since then, it's grown to be multi-wallet and multi-chain. And also within the search bar, you can have native resolution of IPFS domains such as FIO, Unstoppable, Handshake. I'm also missing YAT, the emojis, we think that this experience should be seamless for the user, just like our flagship product is seamless. And you can, within the crypto browser, you can toggle between different wallets if you like, and not just use the Opera crypto wallet. But we can dive deeper into that functionality.
Very cool. And I do have some unstoppable domains, things like that. And it's great to see that the browsers are starting to think that, obviously this is going to be something that's huge moving forward. And I had them on the show recently. They're registering like 100,000 domains per month. And there's only like a couple million that have been registered, but it's going to be like a billion. And eventually that will probably be the status quo for domains. When you're typing it in on Opera, it's going to be like a Web3 domain.
Yeah, we're a proud partner of theirs, and they have moved, really quickly into this space in recent years. But I'd love to talk. Oh, ENS is also another one that's natively resolved, and we're also like the 19th largest token holder of ENS tokens in the DAO. So we've been there early, quietly supporting and kind of waiting for the rest of the ecosystem to kind of catch up, which I think it's really now.
That's amazing to hear. And the crypto wallet, obviously that sounds like the first most important set of integration. But I've also seen that other browsers are starting to catch on to the same, we should probably get in on this. And just having a wallet by itself is becoming not just a competitive advantage once everybody integrates it. And there's so many other wallets that aren't in browsers as well that you sort of have to compete with. Why should I keep it in my browser when I have one on my phone and I have one on the exchange and I have one here and there? How do you make a good user experience or competitive advantage? Yeah, with the wallet.
Yeah. So, we're a browser company. Everybody knows how to browse. Web 1, Web 2 was info gathering, sharing, and this Web 3 or Web 5 or 6 or, whatever you want to call it, is really flipping the paradigm on its head and saying, let's use Web 2 know-hows for the past 25 years, solid design, UX experience, but access Web3 technologies. And that's what we are really good at. And I think it's our sweet spot. I hope that other companies jump in because this is the path. This is, you're moving towards decentralization and no one point of authority. You shouldn't have to choose just one wallet. You shouldn't even have to choose, one chain. So we have announced it's the industry first wallet selector, allowing users to seamlessly toggle between various wallet extensions and access not only their assets and dApps with greater efficiency, but you can choose the wallet directly in the browser address bar. And that includes MetaMask. That was my first wallet when I joined Consensus. That was like the only wallet, I think, 5-6 years ago. Trust Wallet and hundreds of other wallets are supported based on the standard EVM Web3 interface. So that aside, not every user, thankfully, will be used to all the pain points that us native crypto users have in using wallets. And that means no communication, no messaging, your transaction is, we don't even say the word transaction, you've got to flip between Etherscan to check whether it's been signed, and it's just laborious and nerve-wracking for the normie. And so what Opera is hoping to do is make that interface intuitive.
Yeah, no, obviously that's super important. It is more important really than sometimes just having a few extra coins in the wallet is the user experience, especially for people that are just getting in. It's like Amazon. You want the least amount of clicks as possible and easy as possible, but obviously secure and safe as well. And I think that aspect is very important.
Exactly. And I would also add there are key features within the crypto browser which are security features, such as the world's first Web3 browser's secure clipboard. That's something that maybe normies don't think is such that should be a normal feature, but in fact, a secure clipboard is not the norm in crypto. There's phishing protection. There's a malicious address checker, and also, in addition to the multi-wallet management tool.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you mentioned that because, as a more experienced user in crypto, it's not just the fact that there's a wallet in the browser that attracts me to it, but it's also, and this is becoming ever more prevalent with just every regular everyday users as well, is like, what's the security of the Opera browser itself? And people are getting more choosy about their browsers as we see, whether the browser is taking their cookies or tracking them in different ways, or, the search results are politically biased towards some result that they want you to see. And like all of these sort of factors combine on what people decide is the browser that they're going to want to use.
Yeah, and I would also add that, while the first world nations are talking privacy, that really means different things around the world. And we operate worldwide, and we've got deep user base in Asia and Africa, and Latin America too. So, that while that means different things to different, privacy means different things in those regions, we have a very reliable, secure, security team for the past 25 years working on web security. So we're bringing that know-how into Web3, into the crypto ecosystem. So we're not really having to relearn or integrate those features without that experience. So like, we've had that experience for so many decades.
Yeah, no, that's a huge advantage. And speaking of Latin America as well, it seems like there's a lot going on, in Latin America with the growth of Web3. I know that the Devcon just happened in Colombia, and Opera was there as well. You were there. Maybe you can talk about what happened there. How is Opera getting involved, and what are you seeing in the industry, in this past month here?
Well, Devcon rotates every year from Asia to Americas to Europe. So this year it was based in Bogota. It was great to see the depth of blockchain knowledge there. I'd never been to South America before, so it was just like overwhelming at the use cases, including the preservation of cultures with indigenous people in the rainforest using blockchain. It was just like, what? Amazing. And I think my biggest takeaways are that ZKP roll-ups are coming. They are, they're calling it layer 3. So that's, I would be on the lookout next year for a lot of use cases regarding ZKP privacy. I think Aztec had really good showing there. And I would also say social graphing is really taking off. Being able to permission out who sees your social posts, and deciding, and not only deciding who gets to see it, but like owning your actual messages, or the equivalent of tweets, and having that empowerment, back in your hands. And then I would say, there's a lot of enthusiasm around music and ticketing and how NFTs will support that going forward, whether it's fan-based, gated communities and access to artists, or just ticketing to concerts. Just a lot of use cases for entertainment.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see NFTs and Web3 move into these other industries that, they're not sort of a technology first. It's not the finance industry, but it's other industries, sort of what we saw with art in NFTs. It like brings a whole new branch of people into Web3. And I did see Vitalik's sort of mini talk. He put it up on the web about the zero knowledge proofs. There's some great examples of all those things you just spoke about. How much of the Devcon for Ethereum do you think was relatable to the Opera browser, and was there anything there specific that your team is like writing down, like, okay, this is going to be the next feature inside of Opera?
Well, I would say, as the spirit of Devcon is so tech centric as it has always been, but I heard the battle cry for more UX UI designers and making the experience just much more intuitive. And if we're going to scale this for mass adoption, it's unacceptable having to jump the hoops that we have to do in the interface piece. But we've also got a lot of work to do on the regulatory side, because that's another huge impasse that every state, I'm in New York and I can't even on-ramp unless I'm on a centralized exchange, which sort of feels really not very innovative for New York and, and the US. But I'd say, the innovation happens at that level, at that dev level. So we have to be there, and the youth has that innovation, and they are all there. And it's been 2 or 3 years, 2019, since the last DevCon. So there's like a whole new rush of developers who have entered the ecosystem, and they're again mobile first. They're crypto native. They're just out of school. They've endured, maybe the last couple years of school during the pandemic, and they are working remotely. They're digital nomads, and they've entered in the ecosystem through these different chains, and they've got fresh eyes, and it's so exciting to be there to like brainstorm and see how they're using blockchain to solve problems.
And it's incredible how much has happened since the last DevCon. I feel like the industry 10x's in size every time it happens, and it is very important that Opera was there, I think. So it's great to hear about your insights from being on the floor there. And Opera already has like a lot of great integrations, but there's so much happening, as you mentioned, with the zero knowledge proofs and things yet to come still in Web3. What do you and your team have on the crypto side in the very near future here for Q4 and leading into 2023 in things that you're working on and you may release into the Opera browser?
So I'm so excited for like this last quarter. We've just integrated Near and Elrond. We've completed that. And we will be making some announcements during the keynote. I'll be speaking at Elrond X Day next week, next Friday. So we've got a big announcement there. But in addition to those integrations, we are going to launch another product at NFT London. So there's this big movement for Opera to get on the creator side of NFTs. So NFT London and Art Basel this year will be 2 events. We'll have an NFT creator tool announcement at Art Basel. But at NFT London, we'll showcase That's also next week. It's a busy week. So we'll be showcasing this cool new NFT assistant widget. So I'm gonna just kind of spoil it a little bit, but it's off-chain, on-chain analytics. It's sort of like a collection detail. So you can click on the collection instead of opening up all these tabs or researching things like NFT collections. But I don't want to say any more. Overall, a big, huge push this quarter for NFTs.
Amazing. I'm looking forward to it. And it's great to hear that you're getting involved so deeply in all these conferences and doing the keynotes. I really feel like this is a huge step for Opera to be, that go-to browser for the crypto natives. And I'm excited to see more growth for your team. For the viewers that aren't already using Opera and they want to check out the wallet in the browser or download the crypto version, do they just go to the main Opera website, or what's the best way to get the wallet?
So you can go to the Google Store or Apple Store and download the Opera Crypto browser. I mean, you can download all of them. But to get a very Web3 experience, the blue Opera Crypto browser. I think the desktop, I'm on desktop right now, looking at it. So, you could go for that first, but then sync with your other devices. But keep in mind that wallet that is the SDK is JavaScript, so you can access that wallet in every single Opera product, the same wallet.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for the insights, Susie, and I'm really excited to see the growth of all these new functionalities, especially in NFTs for Opera Crypto Browser to come. I appreciate you taking the time today, and let's follow up in the near future.
Great, Ashton. I hope to see you between here and there.